Next we're going to discuss how to prepare a histogram. And if you talk to 5 different people about constructing histograms, you may get 5 different recipes for getting there. I'm going to show you the recipe for our class. Not saying that that's going to be the same recipe for every place you'll ever be, but at least you'll be able to use this for this class. The first step is to find the range. And we find the range by taking the largest value in the data set and subtracting the smallest value. So we can see that the largest, here's the data set. It's 22, 35, 29, 37, 21, 17, 18, 8, 48, and 28. So we can see that the largest number in our data set is 48, and the smallest one is 8. So when we subtract that, we get a number of 40. We want to divide this into 5 different intervals. So we're going to take the difference. This is called our range. It's the difference between the highest and the biggest number and the smallest number in the data set, and it's 40. And now I'm going to divide it by the number of intervals that we're going to be working with. That's 5, and I get a number of 8. Now just a note, if I got some number larger than 8, let's say 8.2, our rule of thumb for our recipe is to always round it down to the next whole number. So 8 point whatever, we're going to, even if it's 8.9, we're going to round it down, and that's going to be the recipe for us, rounded to the next whole number downward. Okay, so in this case this is 8.0, so that's easy. It's just going to be 8. And so that's the rounding. So in our case, whenever we have a number, let's say it's 8.3, we round it down to the nearest whole number. Okay, and the next element in our recipe is we start the intervals, and we start with the lowest number. We add the size of the interval, in this case 8, 8. So we're actually starting at 8 and adding the number 8 to it. So the first interval is going to go 8 to 16. And then what we do is we skip a number and start the next interval, 7, and we add 8 more. 8 and 17 is 25. We skip a number, 26. We add 8 more, and we get 34. We skip a number, 35. We add 8 more, we get 43. So this is the first interval, second interval, third interval, fourth interval. We skip a number, 44. We add 8 more, and it's 52. Okay, and then we're going to make this into a little table. Now these are intervals. You might think of these as bins where we're going to throw numbers into each bin. Okay, and I'm going to just do a little tally mark for each number that fits in each bin. So as I come to them, I'm just going to make a tally. 22, I'm going to put a tally in there. 35 fits in this bin. 29 goes in the third bin. 37 goes back up into this bin. 21 fits in the second bin. 17 just barely is in the second bin. 18 is in the second bin again. There's 1/8, it's down here. There's a 48 that's up here. And then there's a 28 that fits in this middle bin. Okay, so at the end of doing the tallies, I'm going to actually count up how many are in each category. I could actually make another table or just put the counts over here. There's 1 in the first bin, 4 in the second bin, 2 in the third bin, 2 in the fourth bin, and 1 in the last interval. So it's 1, 4, 2, 2, 1. Now I'm ready to actually do my histogram. Okay, I'm going to slide down just a little bit so you can see it. Okay, and in a histogram what we do is we make, this side is going to be for frequency, how many are in each bin, this is going to be for our intervals. Okay, so our first, we're going to have 5 intervals. Our first interval goes from 8 to 16. So some people only write one of these numbers. I'm just going to write them both so we can see. So this first interval goes from 8 to 16. This next interval goes from 17 to 25. Then the next one starts at 26 and goes to 34. The next one goes from 35 to 43. And the next one goes from 44 through 52. Okay, I don't know if you can see all that. Okay, I'll pull it up a little bit so you can see it a little better. Okay, so there we have it. So it's 8, 16, 17, 25, 26, 34, 35 through 43, and 44 through 52. Now I have to see how tall each of my bars are. The largest number I'm going to have to graph is 4, so that makes my scale pretty easy to figure out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to label them. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And so the first column, 8 to 16, is only 1 unit tall. Notice these bars are going to be touching one another. It's a histogram. Okay, 17 through 25 is 4 units tall. 26 through 34 is 2 units tall. 35 through 43 is also 2 units tall. And then 44 through 52 is 1 unit tall. You can shade these a variety of ways or color them in if you'd like. But the bottom line is, what we have are the intervals here along the x-axis, frequency along the y-axis, and the heights of each bar represents the heights, how many are in each bin. This is a histogram for our data.